Ever felt like someone wasn't telling you the whole truth? It's a frustrating feeling, but what if I told you there are proven techniques, the same ones used by FBI agents, that can help you see through the deception? Today, we're diving into 7 psychological tricks to spot a liar. Stick around, because the last one is a game changer. First up, it's all about how you ask questions. Forget simple yes or no questions. Open-ended questions are your secret weapon, especially ones built on a subtle negative assumption. Instead of asking, "Did you go out last night?" try something like, "What kept you out so late last night?" See the difference? The second question prompts a detailed story, not just a simple denial. This gives you more material to work with and makes it easier to spot inconsistencies later on. The key here is to stay calm and curious, not accusatory. A relaxed atmosphere encourages people to talk more freely, which is exactly what you want. Now for trick number 2, the 5-second rule. The first 5 seconds after you ask a critical question are golden. Why? Because a liar's brain is scrambling to invent a story and cover its tracks. It hasn't had time to build a solid defense yet. In this tiny window, watch for both verbal and nonverbal cues. Verbally, they might contradict themselves or try to dodge the question entirely. Nonverbally, look for classic signs like avoiding eye contact, fidgeting, or touching their face or neck. One sign might mean nothing, but if you see a cluster of 2 or more of these behaviors right after your question, that's a significant red flag. The third technique is a cornerstone of FBI investigations: establishing a baseline. Before you even get to the tough questions, you need to know how the person acts normally. Pay attention to their typical behavior during a relaxed, neutral conversation. What's their usual tone of voice? How much do they gesture? Do they make a lot of eye contact or tend to look around? This is their baseline. Once you have that, you can spot deviations. When you shift to a more sensitive topic, any sudden change from their baseline, like someone who is normally animated suddenly becoming still and quiet, or a person who usually maintains eye contact suddenly looking away, can indicate they're feeling stressed and might be hiding something. Next, let's talk about the double question and time check technique. This is a powerful way to catch inconsistencies. Ask about the same event at 2 different points in the conversation. For example, you might start with, "So you went to the gym yesterday, right?" and let the conversation move on. Later, you can circle back with, "What workout did you end up doing at the gym yesterday?" Liars often struggle to keep their fabricated details straight. Comparing the 2 answers can reveal discrepancies. Similarly, challenge their timeline. Liars often get tripped up on the details of timing, asking questions like, "What time did you leave?" and then, "And what time did you arrive?" can expose logical holes in their story. A truthful person's timeline will make sense. A liar's might not add up. Trick number 5 is to watch for hesitation and sudden topic switches. Liars are often cautious with their words because they're creating a story on the fly. They might use filler words like or qualifying phrases like "I guess," "maybe," or "I think." These words give them mental wiggle room. Another huge tell is a sudden desire to change the subject. If you ask a direct question and they immediately try to pivot to something else, it's often because they're uncomfortable and want to escape the spotlight. You can even test this by interrupting their story with a small, unrelated question. If they get flustered and struggle to pick their story back up, or if the details change after the interruption, you've likely found a weak spot in their narrative. Now for a truly sneaky but effective FBI trick, slip in a fake detail. This is about testing their reaction. Casually insert a piece of false information into your conversation. For instance, you could say, "You mentioned you were at the cafe on Tuesday, but weren't they closed for renovations that day?" A truthful person will immediately correct you. They'll say, "No, it was Wednesday," or "No, they were open." They know the truth and have no reason not to state it. A liar, on the other hand, is often trying to be agreeable and avoid any confrontation that might expose them. They might just go along with your fake detail, saying something like, "Oh yeah, you're right. When you combine this with other signals we've discussed, like hesitation or fidgeting, it becomes an incredibly powerful indicator. Finally, after all the techniques and observations, you have to trust your gut. No single method is foolproof, and everyone has their own unique quirks. One person might avoid eye contact because they're shy, not because they're lying. The real key is to look for patterns and clusters of these behaviors, not just isolated incidents. Your intuition is a powerful tool that processes all these subtle cues subconsciously. When you combine these observable signs with that gut feeling that something is off, you're on the right track. Being able to spot deception isn't about becoming paranoid, it's about empowerment and protecting yourself. By learning to observe behavior, ask smarter questions, and stay aware, you gain a level of clarity that most people miss. So the next time a situation feels off, trust your instincts. And now, you have the tools to figure out why. Thanks so much for watching. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. See you in the next one.